Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Solo, man. This is a What's a 9 to 5 podcast where I interview dope people who do more than just a 9 to 5, unique jobs and stuff like that. And by now, y'all know that I don't like to introduce people, so this is the part where I let the dope guests introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Empress. My name is Ebony. However you want to know me, I'm known differently for different things. But I do go overall as Empress. I am entrepreneur. I am a recent college graduate. I do a million different things. I'm into film. As you can see, I have a crystal here, spirituality. I have 2 nonprofits. I have 5 businesses. And yeah, I have a lot of partnerships and I'm doing a lot of different things. And I'm so excited to be here with Solo. Great person. We met in passing and we got reconnected from something else. So, everything happens the way it is supposed to. And I'm happy to be here.
Definitely appreciate you being here. And like how I ask everybody that's on the podcast, what does a 9 to 5 mean to you?
Okay. Well, a 9 to 5 can mean many different things. First and foremost, depends on the context. A lot of people identify 9 to 5 as a job. 9 to 5 could also be the time of hours in a day. I work for myself. I work from 5 to 11 a.m., 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. So that's, you could call my 9 to 5. 9 to 5, I guess, is the time you dedicate to your service. In reality, in my opinion, there is no such thing as time. Time is an illusion. 9 to 5 is something they teach us to be in a system. So to me, there's no such thing as time. But if you were to get the definition of society's definition, that is the time that you were to go to work. But in reality, that's just a way to keep us systematic. So.
Yeah, has one way to put it. So, what was the last 9 to 5 that you worked before we get into the?
Okay, so the last 9 to 5 that I worked was a direct support professional. And a direct support professional is a person who works with people who have disabilities. And me, who I am as a person, I'm about caring and helping with individuals. So as well as I'm only 22 years old, but I always knew my mission or what I wanted to do out of life. And I knew one of those things was love and to help other people. So I always made sure I was in fields where I loved what I was doing. And being a direct support professional, helping other people, working with people who have disabilities, people who cannot care for themselves, or as well as, giving back in any way I can, that was my last 9 to 5, and I built a family there. So I still, I don't work there, but I do consider myself family at that position. And I go back, spread love, still talk to the people I worked with, still talk to the clients. So yeah.
So what was the atmosphere there? Like what was the atmosphere there?
Okay, so being a direct support professional is kind of different than most jobs, which is why I liked it, because it didn't feel like you were working a job. When you do something that you love, it should never feel like a job, And that's like my one thing I always tell people, because everybody doesn't have, not to say the mindset, but everybody has their own way to do something. Everybody has their own field and skills and expertise. What might work for me may not work for somebody else. So because I'm able to handle running 5 businesses, some people like to work in certain fields and just be in that field. And a direct support professional, they in that field, you're working with individuals. The atmosphere is really nice. You get to, like, on an average day, I get to do with them what I would do with a regular person. You're just helping someone feel normal and be a part of society. So, we work with people who have mental disabilities, physical disabilities. So I would take them to the park. I would go out to eat with them. I would take them to the movies. We would play on vacations. We would play games. I would teach them certain skills. I would teach them their chores. I'd cook for them. We would have conversations, meetings. So it was like just being there with a person that you love, but I loved what I did. So it was never a job to me. It was more so being myself, and I feel everyone who ever, decides to work in any field, should be somewhere where you enjoy,
So what's the part of that job that we don't see? Like, if you had to summarize it, really, what exactly is it?
Well, the part that people don't see is the fact that they don't get paid enough, okay? Because I worked for $10 an hour, but in reality, your whole life, somebody's whole life is in your hand. If that person was to get hurt, you'll get fined. If that person was to get sick and you didn't report it, like let's say that person had a little cut on their finger, you didn't recognize it, you could get a fine up to $15,000. So, but you get paid $10 an hour to do so. So with that part of what people don't see is that people with very important jobs don't get treated fairly. You know, like home health aides. Oh yeah, as well. I had to be med certified. I had to be CPR certified. I had to get all these certifications to be able to work with these individuals. So the part you don't see is the fact that you have to be a genuinely caring person to be able to work there. You have to.
Not to cut you off.
No problem. Go ahead.
No, hold your thought. So, how do you feel about people who work in those type of jobs where you do so much but you're not paid a lot? Like, how does it affect you now that saying that you're not in it no more?
So now that I'm not there anymore, I definitely, well, during coronavirus, they forced people, like the government forced them to pay more. While I was there, I did express to the higher ups that I don't feel as though they were giving their employees what they deserved, especially with all the responsibility and risk involved in it. But me personally, I feel, it's me as a person, individual overall, it's all a part of my humanitarian plan to give back to those who do situations and jobs like that. I don't feel as though they're getting treated fairly. I feel as though, the government or whomever you want to say is in control really is government, and capitalism is, people are very stingy and greedy when they can provide more, when they can do more. A lot of funding goes to these type of programs through families, so there is a lot more that can be done. It's just all about the people behind the scenes caring to do so.
Yeah, that's a fact. What is your most memorable memory at that job?
My most memorable memory is one of my clients, Ralph. He goes every
Shout out
time.
to Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. Every time he sees me, he goes, "Hi, Miss Ebony. I love you so much. You're so pretty." Every time he sees me, so it's like just the bond that these people feel, and they always remember me. If I don't see them for weeks, I go back. They know who I am. They know my name, and like, just being able to be that person for people who may not have the patience, because a lot of the people in group homes, because that's where I worked inside of a group home, they're placed there because people are not able to be patient with them, or they may not have the family to be there for them, or people don't. So everything was a memorable moment because I got to be that energy for someone who may not have had it, and it was very comforting, for me to be able to give that energy to them.
Okay, so what was the most non-pleasant memory that you had there?
Um, I would definitely the most non-pleasant memory, I did have to change diapers and stuff, but that wasn't, and I had to shower people, but it didn't really bother me because I knew their level of awareness. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I had to shower. Some people didn't like the job because you have to shower grown men sometimes, but that didn't really bother me because, they're really children, it's all about the mind level. Just because somebody's born with age does not mean they have the wisdom and mental capability to understand. So it didn't really bother me much, but I did have like a boss, shout out to Lovely. I had someone who was like trying to see me fall for some reason, no reason at all. And yeah, definitely. And she, like, out of nowhere, I was working, I was there for like 3 years, and one of my managers, I watched the managers come and go because they were not getting paid fairly. They were getting asked to do more work than they were. And then one day, we got this new manager. I was always the youngest everywhere I went, no matter what position I played in life. I've always been the youngest person in the room. So I was there. She, one day, just made up something to the higher up, said I didn't come in on time, and then told them I was late. She just made up a whole facade. I proved them wrong. I brought in paperwork and everything, with proof of messages, with proof of everything. Like, I literally built my whole case, and they had nothing to say, except for the fact that I had to be moved. But I got moved to a different house. Everything happens for a reason because I had a lot more, flexibility within that home to work with the people I wanted to work with and all this other stuff. I did get reduced hours for something I didn't do,
and that's a crazy thing too. The one thing about jobs is, like, I don't like when 1 + 1 = 2, and you prove that, and they be like, nah, it's 3. That's like a thing that I never understood, because now you're making something up. So it's like, what's the point of, like,
exactly.
Y'all don't want the truth? I never really understood that, especially when you're getting underpaid too. Because I worked at the MAVC for the medical wheelchairs. We got like underpaid, overworked, and I feel like if we're like transporting human beings, we should definitely get more money. I think it was like 10 an hour. Got a little like paper saying that you did a class and stuff like that. And that's why, like, any like medical job, I don't think they get paid enough.
They don't.
That's crazy. So when did you decide? Because it sounds like also that's a job. Those jobs you can't do it because for the money. You should never do
Exactly.
those jobs. Also, with like cops too. That's another conversation. But certain jobs you can't when you're dealing with people, like human beings. You should never do that for money. That's my opinion on it. So, but since you really like that job, when did you decide that it was time to leave?
And I'm gonna, well, truthfully, honestly, I'm able to go back to that place, like if I want to at any moment in time because of the strong connection I built with the company and how devoted and dedicated I was. Because I wasn't there for the money, I was there for more so the help of the people. So anytime I want to go back, I can. But I left because it's just where God takes you. Sometimes you're just supposed to be in a certain situation for like 3 months, a year, 2 years, and then you go on a different life path. I decided to leave when I started to learn who I was. When I decided to learn what really mattered to me the most, what really sparked me joy, and it wasn't dedicating 8 hours of my life to someone else's business. Even though I was there for those people, I was still there for someone else's business, and I could have been doing a lot more for myself if I was to focus more so on me. And I got, no matter how much you love people, you got to love yourself more. And I had to love myself more. No matter how much I loved them, I had to love myself more. And now I'm helping way more people than I was with just 5 clients. Now I'm helping millions of people across the world. So God just guided me out of that situation because I started to learn myself. I started to know my worth. There was definitely certain signs within the situation that led me out, like certain petty arguments, conversations. People had, I don't like negative energy, so when things become negative, I do remove myself. So things started to arise, signs and red flags that it was time for me to go, even just emotions within myself. I was there all day, missing out on things I could be doing. Yeah, exactly.
Like it wasn't worth the energy that you was putting in, especially the energy that you was receiving.
Exactly.
So now, you know what I'm saying, the butter. Like, so what do you do now that's helping everybody across the globe?
Okay.
That's what you said. Right?
Okay. Well, one, I'm a psychic, astrologist, spiritual mentor, spiritual teacher, healer, guru, all across the board. I'm spiritually mastered, and I do readings, and I do spiritual energy cleansing, and I do many different things in that field. I have different fields, but we'll talk to that first. And what I do there is you can check me out on Instagram at Empress Intuition. But there I, just spread messages. I connect to the divine. I connect to my higher self. It's all about what you believe, but everything I say is true for people, clearly.
All right, so but always hold your thought though, because we about to get into this though. So
okay,
how did you get into that? Like what happened? Like how did you even get into the spiritual master too? Like explain to me what a spiritual master is, because I'm learning about this.
Okay.
So
a spiritual master is anyone who's able. There's different levels to a spiritual master. One, you are meant to be your highest self. That means you reach all levels of 7 levels of spiritual mastery: self-discovery, self-awareness. So we could go as this will take. That would take a long time.
Don't kill them.
Yeah, that would take a long time. But then spiritual mastery also means that I'm able to help others reach that level of spiritual mastery. Since I'm so levelly, since my consciousness, I'm very awoke. You call woke nowadays. I'm very aware. But I got into that by, loving on myself. I've always been able to do these cool things. I've always had a gift, if you want to call it a gift. We all have gifts. We all have psychic abilities. It's all about listening to your intuition and developing it. I've always been one to be different and listen to myself and go where I was guided. So as I continue to just build on myself and understand myself, I got more into different things. I got into astrology. Like everything was second nature to me. I believe in past lives. So in my past life, I believe I studied astrology and tarot. So when I first came across it, I didn't have to study it at all. I already knew all the meanings. Like I knew the meaning of every the 78 cards, the major and minor arcana of tarot. I knew all the meanings. Astrology came to me like second nature. I knew what a sextile was. I knew what a supermoon was. I knew what a retrograde was. I knew what a cosmo, the planets, what the meaning of. I knew what everything was. Like, so it came to me in a click. And it also, I came across tarot as I was going through my own personal not issues, but my own personal findings, because I always felt I had no one to really understand and relate to me, and we all feel that way at some point, but so I had to find and cope with different things in my own way, and God leaded me, I just listened to my intuition and where I was guided, and that's where I was guided. So I've been doing it for years, like readings. I used to always be able to, I had what really kicked it off for me was I had like an ex-boyfriend, and I would just tell him certain things like, okay, did you speak to your father like today? When we first started talking, I asked him like one day, like, did you speak to your father? He said, how did you know I spoke to my father today? I didn't talk to my father in 5 years. I said, I just feel it. I said, okay. I said, and then I started to, so then every day he would ask me, like, tell me something about myself. What happened? Like, he'll make me do these things. And I realized, like, okay, what I'm doing is cool. Like, I'm able to tell you what's going on without having to see you, without having to know, without you telling me. And then I just learned and developed on that more and more. And then I got here and I woke up one day. I was like, okay, I want to do an Instagram page to get my messages out there because I know my messages will help people. So I started to make a page on Instagram last July, I had like 100 followers. I didn't promote my page or anything because at first I was like self-conscious. People would think it's weird, things like that, because I didn't understand. When I was still going through this, I was still learning myself. And when you have self-confidence, when you're fully confident in yourself, that's another thing. When you get that mastery, you're fully confident within yourself. So I got that full confidence one day, and I said, okay, let me start posting more. And I started posting way more. I went to sleep one day, I had 100 followers. Next day I woke up with 10,000. I'm like, oh shit, went back to sleep one day, woke back up with 20,000, went back to sleep one day, 30,000. I'm at almost 100,000 followers. So it just evolved that way.
So the tarot cards, right? What exactly is a tarot card reading?
Well, tarot card readings, a tarot is an ancient.
Tarot?
Yeah, tarot.
I was saying terror, like I know
No.
that's not how you say it, but not TEROI. That's how I was saying
tarot.
it. Tarot.
Okay,
Yeah.
but tarot was, now we going into the history. It was developed by Egyptian. Well, the demonic thing people got from it was because it was first practiced and developed by a what is it? That type a cult. But the cult wasn't using it for demonic things. They just recognized the power of being able to connect to the divinity. Tarot is just a way to provide information. Everything in life is about choice and free will. We have the power to choose and create our reality. But with that extra information and with the consciousness, the ability to know what may happen or what you have, that extra advice can help you make better choices. So tarot is just there as information to help people make better choices. And it was developed, like, from people say it was developed in Egypt, it was developed over here, it was developed over there, but it was developed and now used in today's world. From the, oh my goodness, my head started hurt. But from the Western world, and now we're here, and for centuries it's like grown, and now it's like a big thing in today's world. Like, but it is written in the stars that people in this lifetime, where we are today in this year, are supposed to awaken more than any other lifetime. So you'll see a lot of people posting tarot, a lot of people talking about spirituality. It was written that way. We're supposed to be the lifetime that awakens most to spiritual truth.
See, so my question is, what I'm saying, because there's so much false information too. So how would somebody be able to tell something that somebody just talking gibberish versus somebody that's actually a spiritual master? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like borderline with it. You know what I'm saying? I would never disrespect it, but it's like I could see somebody say something similar to somebody else. It looks similar in a way.
Well, like, what are you saying? Like, how do you know somebody who's spiritual master versus who's not?
Somebody who just finessing.
Well,
because people use this and they're not really, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, first of all, you can tell off the energy. That's what the power, that's what divinity teaches you, how to develop your own intuition.
See, what about they're preying on people that's not really in tune with that, though? You know what I'm saying? Some people might just really want it or go to them, you know what I'm saying, and they might get finessed.
And that's the thing about intuition. Like, that's the thing. Like, never go where you're not guided. And if you were guided in that situation, it was supposed to be for a specific reason, a specific lesson that you needed to learn. Everything in life is about learning lessons. There's no such thing as failure. When you win, you win. When you lose, you learn. So everything in life is about learning lessons. You're always supposed to go where you're guided. I always tell people, do not just go to somebody because, I want to read and I just want to go do it. No, I'm guided. I feel guided in my spiritual soul. I feel guided here. Because if you do just act off of that, you want answers and you're attached to an outcome, you are going to get led in the wrong direction.
Yeah, again, because you're
attached to an outcome. Yes.
That's a good
yes.
That's a good way to explain that, though.
Yeah, if you're attached to an outcome, you're going to automatic, whether you get a reading from a false person or a real person, if you're too attached to an outcome, you will get led the wrong information, because that's not what spirituality is about. Manifestation, all of that is about believing. It's all about your beliefs, what you believe in. You manifest your reality. When people think bad, or I don't ever believe in the bad. That's why bad things do not happen to me, because there's no such thing as bad. Everything in life is a learning lesson. But some people believe like, oh, this has to be this way or this has to be that way. So they manifest and create their life that way. Your actions follow. So if you're saying, for example, why does bad shit always happen to me? Bad shit is always happening to me. You're manifesting that. That's your words telling you your thoughts, and then your thoughts turn into your beliefs, and your beliefs turn into your actions. And the energy we release in the world is the energy that comes back to us. So there are people out here who do scam. I have a million people who have fake pages of me. But and it's all about, really understanding. Because I have people who have a million fake pages about me, and then they'll say, I knew this wasn't you, or I felt this wasn't you, but I still gave them my money. Why would you do that if you felt that? So you got to listen to your intuition. Everything in life is about intuition, your feelings. God will send you signs. We're not out here blinded, people. Like, God will send you signs when somebody's not for you. The reason why you keep arguing with somebody and it's not working out is because y'all need to go. The reason why you get angry and frustrated in that situation is because you need to remove yourself. We're not out here led by the blind, but we are out here. We get signs and signals to do and remove certain things, to go certain places. So it's all about trusting in yourself, trusting in your gut feeling. We all have that psychic ability, but some people's are stronger than others because they believe their first instinct.
So how do you feel like this is was your calling though? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a hobby no more. This is something that you want to make a full-time thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's not something I want to actually make a full-time thing. I mean, it's already full-time because of who I am, but I go wherever I'm guided. So now I'm being like, I do film and video. I'm a film director. I got a degree in filmmaking. I'm working on 2 different films. So right now I'm actually about to take a break from doing the readings and stuff because I'm about to start working more on my film. And then I'm also into real estate. I own property. So I do that.
How do you get into real estate?
Okay, so I got into real estate. Well, I'm just honestly a smart person. So I just read, and everything. And like I always tell people now, I do financial advisement. I'm an insurance agent. But I always tell people, like, investments are very important. You listen. You take what you want to take or who you want to listen to, but when it comes to me and who I've helped, this has always been my saying: don't save money. That's the first rule that we mess up. We save our money. What we should do is invest our money, whether it be into yourself, whether it be into another business, whether it be into stocks, wherever you feel fit, you should invest your money. And what I did, as soon as I started to make a little bit of money, I went and invested it in somewhere where I will make a ton of money. And I found the markets that were good for me. I have Airbnb property in Atlanta. So I did that, and I moved on that. So yeah, like, I invested in the cameras. I started doing film, and I've been doing all of that.
So what's your favorite thing to do then?
Everything I do is my favorite thing to do.
If you had to choose, if you just had to choose one thing,
I can't.
Nah, if you had to choose one,
I can't.
I get it. I get it. But
I
if you had
can't.
to, it was like, all right, for $1 million, you just got to choose one thing to do for.
And I would say, if you're giving me $1 million to choose between all the things I love, then you could keep it. Because I can't choose.
That's so cliche, though. I
can't choose.
So everything is on the equal.
Everything is equal. Everything, because I do everything I love. When you do everything that you love is love is a frequency. Love is an energy, and when you're vibrating on the frequency of love, whatever you do, you should love. Like, I have equal love for everything that I do. That's why I do everything at one time. I can't stop and not do film. Can't stop. That's why my followers, I don't post every day. Like some people, there's amazing tarot readers out there who post every single day. I will go weeks without posting because I'm spending time dedicated to my film. Yeah, that's my best thing. I put my time into my filmmaking. I go wherever I'm happy, and if I get now I'm not happy doing the film right now because I want to go back to the tarot, then I go back to the tarot. I love everything I do equally, because I do what I love. If I didn't do what I love, then I would have this is my least favorite. But that's what my advice to everyone: stop doing shit you don't love to do.
It's hard for everybody to take that step, though. You know what I'm saying? You found that out when you was young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I found that out like a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought, because a lot of people is engraved to work a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Work, get a house, get a kid, car, and then, you know what I'm saying, grow old, get kids and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people don't. And a lot of people that even got good jobs. Let's say somebody got a good job, they scared to risk that job and make that step to even do what they love, though.
But
you know what I'm saying?
And that's and I'm gonna say something to you. One, you did exactly what I said that people do and they shouldn't do, is say the words like it was hard. We manifest our reality by our beliefs. So if you believe something is hard for you, then it will be hard for you. That's very true. But it's all about, trusting in the divine. Genuine faith is blind faith. You don't know what's to come, but if you believe in yourself, if you believe in the power of God, then you will go where you are guided. Some people do not do. You're right. That's the difference between people who will live good lives and great lives. There's a reason why people live good lives, and there's a reason why people live great lives. The people who live good lives, because it's easy to settle for the 9 to 5, and it's easy to have the kids and do that. That's a good life. But when you have a great life, you're not just settling. You're not saying, okay, this is it for me. Even though this is what the system is set up to tell me, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to take that extra step. I'm going to, fuck it. It was a time and period where I didn't have no job, no money. I had car note due. I had bills to pay. I had all this stuff. And I was like, God, I'm not working, because I don't feel it in my soul that that's what I should be doing. Even though I don't have money right now, something's going to come through for me. All of a sudden, I started getting checks from people I know, like, oh, can you come do this? Come here. Like, this to happen. Like, people don't believe that God will provide them for what they need, so they stay stagnant and stuck. But if you have that belief that God will provide you, then you will manifest that energy. You have to believe and take that step. You tell yourself, I'm not going to be able to do that, then you're going to stay there. You will never know.
Yeah, but it's a hard step, though, because like I said, some people have good jobs. And
it's hard because you tell yourself it's hard.
It's like, so how they know that it's not hard? You just got to
try. You got to give it a try.
But that level of like awareness and like understanding that a lot of people, it's hard to even get there.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not judging you.
No, I'm not judging nobody. I'm saying like some people, like you found it young, some people found it later.
Yeah, everybody's journey is their journey. It's all about your lessons.
Like, we can say that to somebody, but they won't even believe that. Like somebody who making, let's just say 6 figures a year, right? And they be like, I'm making 6 figures. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? If you just tell them,
if that makes that person happy, then that's where they should stay. Everybody's happiness is not the same. So if a person is
happy, they just
then that's their choice to stay there. Everything in life is about your choice. I'm not here to make anybody believe what I believe. I will plant the seed, but if you don't want to listen to it or let it grow, that's on you. I'm not, just like the great Malcolm X said, I will reach my hand to extend. I will shake your hand. If you don't want to shake mine, then that's okay. So I'm here to plant the seed. That's my will of God, to plant the seed.
What do you say to somebody who is there, who is got an okay life, but they're scared to make that step to be like, I want to do what I love? They got an okay life. Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to read more. I would tell them to exercise. I would tell them to meditate. I would tell them to write out affirmations, because the reason why you're scared is because you don't have confidence within yourself. If you had confidence in yourself and God plan, you will know you will always be provided for what you need. So I would tell that person, go develop yourself more, go understand yourself more, ask yourself, what can I do to experience more joy? Why do I feel as though I can't make these choices? Take a look at yourself on the inside. Why do I feel stuck? Why am I keeping myself stuck here? So you can build on that, this and that. And if you don't choose to do so, then that's your life. That's your choice. So there's no such thing as, good or bad people. There's only joyful people and miserable people. And that's where the term heaven or hell, to me, heaven or hell is not a place. That is something you create on earth. People create their heaven and people create their hell. If you continue to choose a life where, I got to do this, and you're not really happy there, you're going to create that misery. Negativity going to keep recurring, and you're going to create a life full of hell. But if you say, no, I'm going to believe in God, I'm going to believe in faith, I'm going to make these chances, I'm going to choose this, and choose joy, and you make those choices, you create your heaven. So it's up to you. At the end of the day, we all have free will. Everything in life is just about planting the seed. Wherever you want to take it is your choice.
All right, so my last question, where do you see yourself in about 5 to 10 years? I know it's a cliche question, but you answered everything else. So
I'm always where I need to be. So 5 to 10 years, there's no such thing as time. Everything is happening simultaneously, so I don't see myself anywhere. I just see I live day by day. So that's kind of a hard question, not a hard question for me, but it's like a non-existent question, because I don't live for the future, because there's no such thing. I live for the present moment, because if I was to think about where I'll be in 5 to 10 years, I would be anxious and feeling as if I had to go there and rush to get to that so I could be there in 5 to 10 years. I know where I want to be now, and right now where I want to be is exactly where I am, and giving back and loving and being here and being happy. I'm already found. Like, people spend their life trying to find themselves. I'm here. So in 5 to 10 years, it is what it is. I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm successful. So it is what it is.
Like I said, I didn't have you on it to debate you. I'm not debating.
That's no, I know you're not debating me. I didn't feel like you were.
I wanted, like I said, I think you're like super dope, because
Thank
like
you.
some of the, like that question, like people who are like older than you have like a real conflict with that, you know what I'm saying? And like maybe they don't believe me, so I'm like, let me have somebody here who is 22, yo, you know what I'm saying? She's 22 and figured that shit out. So it's like, you don't gotta believe me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, believe her, you know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
We got the spiritual master. It's like Empress. I don't want to say it wrong.
Intuition.
Empress Intuition. The Instagram going to be somewhere right here. I'm saying so. What's not? I forget it real quick. What's the 9 to 5 podcast? And we got the homie
Tally up.
Yeah, man. We had him.
Yeah, man, Tally everywhere. Y'all never did, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
She got us in the park. We in the park.
Yeah, we had to come into nature, guys. I didn't the confined space.
Yeah, I don't know how the audio. And real quick, what is the crystals?
Oh yeah, this is a selenite wand right here. This is used to cleanse energy. This is to cleanse negative energy, to bring good vibrations. So this interview is going to be beautiful, and it is going to sound right.
Oh no, I got
it will.
It will.
Exactly. That's how you manifest.
You know what I'm saying? But the crystals though, like I see a lot of people wearing them. Do you have to like know the arts? I just see like people buying them. I would assume people like do research before they buy them.
Everybody does not do their research before they buy them, which is really sucks because then you wouldn't be able to use something to its full capacity if you knew what it was. But the crystals are still work whether you know them or not. They still work for you, but if you will be able to maximize the potential of a crystal if you knew what it meant. Like this. Like a citron crystal is a manifestation crystal. I wish I would have brought some. But a citron crystal is a manifestation crystal. So using that crystal when you want to pray or like that will maximize that manifestation to life. And this right here I just used to cleanse. I've just been waving it around to make sure we have good vibrations here. So it's a million different crystals. You'll get into we will be talking years about crystals.
So what's the 9 to 5 podcast? Your boy Solo.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you again.
Like I said, appreciate you again.
And I love what you're doing.
Appreciate you again.
I love what you're doing here.
Yeah, man. Vibe with us, man.
Yes. Boom.